And we've been joined by Coach Charlie Strong from USF. Again, the Bulls are 6-0 overall. Okay, thank you.
One moment.
United States presidents, 40 Supreme Court justices, and more than 100.
Hello? Hello?
Coach.
Yes.
Okay, we're joined by Coach Charlie Strong from USF. Again, USF is 6-0 overall, 2-0 in the American. The Bulls played at Tulsa last Friday. USF won the game 25-24. USF back in action this Saturday against UConn at Raymond James Stadium, 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. And again, as we mentioned at the top of the call, Kobe Weiss from USF is the American Special Teams Player of the Week. Coach, appreciate your joining us today, especially right on the heels of your on-campus press conference. If you would just take a minute to tie up the game against Tulsa, please, and what you expect to see as you get back into the East Division with Saturday's game against UConn.
Well, really excited about the win over Tulsa and knowing we had to battle back here on the road. And the thing about it, when you get into the conference, there's so much competitiveness with each team within the conference, and you're always going to get their best. And it was a tough loss for Tulsa, and they played really hard. But, for us to battle back and get that win, it just speaks of who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. Knowing that now we got UConn coming in our place, we're back at home. They haven't played as well as they'd like to play this season, but it's still going to be a tough game because it's a conference game, and Coach Etzel always does a great job with his team. So we're looking forward to the matchup. We just got to continue to get better, and we know that this is another conference game, and still every game left now is a conference game, and we're going to have to play better than what we played.
We'll take questions for Coach Charlie Strong, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue, then the operator will introduce you.
Our first question is from Chris Vanini with The Athletic. Please go ahead.
Hi, Coach. You've had a number of games this year and also last year where maybe you didn't play as well as you'd hoped, but you guys were able to rally late and pull out a win. To what do you attribute your team continually being able to make those plays late?
Well, just continue to have confidence in one another, and we need to get started faster, which we haven't been able to do, and just be more aggressive. But the game what's key is just to finish the game, and when just knowing that you just got to play it to the end, and guys, the right players are stepping up, making plays for us, and we just gotta. We don't want to put ourselves in this position each and every week. But we know that we're going to get whomever you play now, and it's all conference, you're going to get their best, and they're going to give you their best, and we're going to give them our best. So you just expect to play a tight game.
Did you say anything to the team heading into the fourth quarter against Tulsa? Is there anything that sparked or changed things?
No, it's really tough because, just defensively saying, hey, don't let them score, and offensively, hey, at some point, guys, we got to get us a score here. But, you're constantly saying that and the players hear it, but it's still, about execution and about this playing with great effort and trying to make a play. And the thing you don't ever want to do is you don't ever want to tighten up. And as long as you stay loose, then it'll happen for you. But the moment you start tightening up is when you really start not making plays and dropping balls and missing tackles and bad things start happening to you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Bob Holt with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Please go ahead.
Hey, Charlie. How you doing?
Good, Bob. How are you doing?
I'm good. A little chilly here in Arkansas, Tulsa's coming in to play Arkansas this week. I know they're 1-5, but I got to watch a lot of your game with them. They looked like a pretty tough team. What would you say to people who may be thinking this isn't, a real good team, but based on the record? I guess what impressed you about Tulsa, preparing for them, and after playing them, what impressed you or stood out to you about those guys?
Well, the thing you can't do is number one is look at their record, because they are a better football team than what their record shows, and they are physical. They're going to play physical, really aggressive, and they have enough playmakers around them where they can move the ball on offense and they can stop people on defense. but it's just been one of those seasons for them where they've been in a lot of really close games. They just haven't been able to pull them off. But Coach Montgomery's done a great job with that team. And you look at how they played us, even the way they played Texas, but that's the way they played all season long. And sometimes it's hard to catch a break, but the thing, it's just like they don't give in, they don't quit, and they just continue to play.
Are you impressed watching them? Because obviously they're going through a tough time, coming off a tough season, but it still looks like they got a lot of fight in them.
Oh, they do, and that's what's impressive, that they still got that in them, and they continue to battle, because a lot of teams, when you see they get in that position, they give in, and I don't think this team will. I think this team will continue to battle and play hard and give you everything they got.
One last thing, I know they got a couple running backs with 400-plus yards. What do you think of those guys in their running game? And I know that they got a quarterback. What do you think of him?
Well, really impressed with the quarterback, because their starting quarterback was down, and then they brought in a redshirt freshman who's done a great job of just managing the offense and puts the ball in the right place and gets them going. And then with the running backs, they've been beat up some, and I think that once they get them all back, that they really will be a problem for a lot of teams. But, it's just that they're just fighting an injury bug where they get one back and then another one goes down. But like I said, the offensive line is really physical. They have some good players up on the offensive line. They just haven't been able to be consistent, because you lose your quarterback, then you lose a running back, then you lose another guy, and it's hard where they just haven't had their starting 11 out there.
Hey, thanks, Charlie. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Our next question is from Nathan Bond with the Daily Stampede. Please go ahead.
Hey, Coach. How are you?
Good, Nathan. How are you doing?
Doing well. Coach, the first half you mentioned it earlier that you guys start out slow. On 20% of your offensive drives in the first half outside of Elon, you're not scoring. Is this just who you are? You guys are a slow starting team. But what do you have to do to fix that glaring problem?
Well, you always want to start off fast, Nathan, and you're right, we just haven't done it, and we want to take the ball, and when we possess it, you like to drive it down the field, and you like to either get a touchdown or a field goal, but that's all about execution, and we're just not executing, and we got to do a better job of executing, and it's like we don't need to wake up the second half, we need to get going in the first half.
What are you going to tell your team this week to, UConn, by the numbers, is not a good team. What do you have to tell them to get them ready? Jordan Cronkite said, that they always get slapped in the face, and you guys need to start doing the slapping first. What needs to click for you guys?
Well, you can't worry about their record. This is a conference game, and you're always going to get your opponent's best. So the thing we got to do is put together our best. And we need to get out. We need to start fast. We need to play well. We need to play with great fundamentals and technique. But we just got to get started and get going.
Offensively, Tulsa was able to get pressure with rushing to just three guys. Were they coverage pressures, or were they just beating the offensive line?
Well, they did a great job, and they showed us that they played a coverage that they've been very effective for them. And it's like 3D with double cloud, which is really good. And it's a good coverage against what we run. And so when we had to hold the ball and you rush the three people, eventually someone's going to get there.
And
Nathan, I was run over a little bit, so we do have to move on to the next coach. So thanks for your time. Appreciate the question. Coach, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Coach Charlie Strong from USF. Again, the Bulls in action against UConn at Raymond James Stadium, 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network.